All right, so I'm going to share with you how you can buy your dream home. I'm out in Michigan right now on a business conference, and I was looking at, of course, driving around looking at homes, and it couldn't help myself but curious, what are the homes value going for out here? So I looked it up, and of course, they're super cheap. And it made me think of you guys back at home, because in California, the housing market has gone up. Of course, we all know that. Rates have gone up. And unfortunately, I've been talking to a lot of friends and family, people getting discouraged because they feel like, man, I can't buy a home in California, and are considering actually moving out of state. And I'm like, man, that's unfortunate. Uh, so let me tell you about my own personal experience and journey into home ownership. So years ago, I want to say about 8 years ago, I thought about buying a home, and at that time went to look at a bunch of open houses, placed offers, didn't get accepted, was getting outbid by cash buyers, and in the end I didn't buy a home because I gave up. After a year of searching, I could not get into a home, and I ended up using the money from my down payment, and I just bought my minivan instead. So had I bought it back then, I would have been in a much better position, because that time I think like a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house was going for like $300,000 at that time in Orange County, and had I bought it, it would have been worth about $800,000 now. But I didn't. I missed that opportunity, and I'm bummed about it. But I didn't just quit. From there, I continued that dream of wanting one day to just be able to buy a house. And so, of course, when I was like, okay, let me give it a try again. I saved up money, and I thought, okay, let me try. Second time around, I, of course, still had that same expectation. I wanted to buy a house, and then I realized the market's gone up a lot. I wanted to buy, a house, 3-bedroom, 2-bath for my kids, to each have their own room, have a backyard, have like fun family gatherings. And when I started the house searching, I couldn't find anything in my budget. And I was, again, starting to feel discouraged, but then I realized if I quit now, I'm gonna lose this opportunity. So I decided, you know what, maybe I just settle for something smaller and get into it as a stepping stone. And so I realized, I'm like, okay, let me lower my expectations. Even if I get into a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom in Orange County, still, I can live with that idea. And so I did. I ended up settling down and looking at condos. And I did. I was happy to be able to win an offer. I got into a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo. And at that time, it was like $385 is what I ended up buying it for. And so it was affordable enough for me to stop renting, throwing my money to pay for someone, making my landlord richer. And so I was like, okay, I can afford this rent. Instead, I can afford my condo. So I bought the condo, and not my dream home, but at least it gave me a stepping stone to get in there. And I was there for 2 years, and after 2 years, I still have it now, but I was able to increase I was able to build equity. I paid down my mortgage. As the market increased in the value of the home, I was able to build some equity for myself. And with that equity, ideally, I was like, oh, maybe at that point, I'll just sell that property and upgrade to my dream home, which was my original plan, which I changed. I was able to become a homeowner, but my plan, then I started thinking bigger, thinking about my future, and thinking about my kids' futures, and how can I use this wealth to grow for my family and future generations. So I decided, with all that equity that I built in 2 years, I grew over $100,000 in equity. That's the great thing about home ownership in California, is the values of home and the rate it increases. I was able to, in 2 years, like I said, gain about $100,000 in equity. I refinanced. I pulled that equity out, and actually a month ago, I ended up buying a second investment property instead. So it was able to give me a stepping stone to buy a bigger house. I was able to buy a bigger house, and go from my condo, which I decided to keep as a rental, and then get into a bigger house as well. So and I'm going to continue this journey, being able to buy something and then have it increase in value, and then pull out equity and continue my portfolio. So again, home ownership is possible. All it requires is a plan of action. Okay, so with all that being said, what is the first step to becoming a homeowner? Number one, and first and foremost, is to plan. So if you have a mortgage professional that you trust and that will be happy to guide you during your journey, then great, call them, reach out to them. Um, your realtor, if you have a real estate friend or family, or a realtor that you're working with, probably not the best and first step to take in planning with them, because keep in mind, they're not trained in the financial side. So if you don't have either of those scenarios to work with, then call us. I would be more than happy to talk to you about your situation and your goals, and come up with a roadmap to help you become a homeowner. Well, that's all for now. I really just wanted to take a moment to get that message out there for all of you who might be considering buying a home, or for those really who are feeling discouraged right now. Don't be. I hope that was useful for you at the minimum. And that's it. Bye for now, guys.